Let me tell you the secret. Louis Vuitton has many Chinese suppliers, but they just don't admit it.
Silence. That's the first thing you notice when stepping into a Louis Vuitton store in 2025. No friendly chatter, no staff offering champagne in crystal glasses, no long lines of eager buyers waiting to put their names on a list for a bag worth more than a year's rent. Instead, the boutiques feel empty, like grand museums stripped of their magic. And it isn't just one store. From Beverly Hills to Beijing, the silence has spread. What once were buzzing temples of luxury now feel hollow. The velvet ropes have disappeared, and the glossy image of untouchable exclusivity has cracked. The collapse didn't come from inflation or the economy. The real blow came from somewhere no one expected: TikTok. A short video, filmed in a small Chinese workshop, exposed something that luxury brands hoped the world would never see. The video showed a young woman holding up what looked like a flawless Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag. With a smirk, she explained that her factory produced thousands of these every single day. The cost? $80. Then she laughed, adding, "But don't tell the French." That clip spread like wildfire. Within 2 days, it had over 12 million views. People flooded the comments, stunned by how a bag sold for $3,200 in Paris or New York could be produced for the price of a dinner. The aura of exclusivity was shattered. A Neverfull bag suddenly felt ordinary, no more special than a canvas tote. Louis Vuitton's lawyers rushed to remove the video, but it was too late. The secret was out, and worse, it felt believable. By May 2025, searches for LV dupes outpaced searches for the real thing. For a brand built entirely on mystique, that shift was devastating. Even more shocking, insiders whispered that many of these so-called counterfeits weren't fakes at all. Some came from the very factories that once supplied Louis Vuitton itself, using the same materials, tools, and labor. The line between authentic and copy blurred so much that it practically disappeared. The fallout has been brutal. In just a few months, fashion houses have lost billions in stock value. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and other giants watched as their once untouchable empires suddenly looked fragile. China, long seen as the golden market for luxury goods, has cooled dramatically. The country that once couldn't get enough of Western logos is now turning away. Sales there dropped by 15% in just the first quarter of 2025. For brands that staked their future on Chinese consumers, it was like watching the floor collapse beneath them. The Beijing flagship tells the story better than any spreadsheet. Built for $200 million, the massive Louis Vuitton building was supposed to be a crown jewel, 5 glittering stories of marble, glass, and gold. It was meant to symbolize dominance, the ultimate sign of fashion's grip on Asia. Yet the doors, which were supposed to open with a Fashion Week spectacle in 2024, remain shut. Insiders whisper that the launch might not happen until 2026, if ever. A monument meant to celebrate power has become a ghostly shell, gathering dust instead of footsteps. And just when the industry thought things couldn't get worse, politics stepped in. Donald Trump, returning to the spotlight, announced a plan to slap a 31% tariff on European luxury imports. To brands like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Gucci, it wasn't just a tax, it was a wrecking ball. Their business models, already fragile after the TikTok scandal, now face the threat of American shoppers turning away entirely. The luxury world is in panic mode. Sponsors and investors are nervous. Some brands are quietly pulling back from expansion plans. Others are desperately trying to reframe their image, pushing craftsmanship and heritage harder than ever to distract from the fact that their exclusivity has been exposed. But consumers aren't buying the old story anymore. Once you've seen a bag sold for thousands being made for a fraction of the price, it's hard to unsee. TikTok, a platform built on quick clips and viral trends, has turned into the stage where luxury's deepest secrets spilled out for the world to witness. So, what happens now? Can Louis Vuitton and other luxury giants rebuild their image? Or is this the start of an irreversible decline? Some argue that luxury will always survive because it's not just about the product, it's about status. People will still pay for the name, even if they know the truth. But others believe the curtain has been pulled back too far. The mystery is gone, and without mystery, what's left? One thing is certain, the silence inside those once bustling boutiques isn't an accident. It's the sound of an empire trembling. And no matter how glossy the ads or how glamorous the runway shows, the question will always linger: why pay thousands for a bag that costs less than a pair of sneakers to make? Luxury may never look the same again. In 2025, the luxury market looks nothing like it did just a few years ago. For American shoppers, the price tags no longer feel aspirational, they feel absurd. That once coveted Birkin bag isn't a symbol of success anymore. Instead, it's starting to look like financial carelessness. When even the wealthy are second-guessing their purchases, you know the old luxury game is changing. Take Hermes, the brand that turned wait lists into social currency. For decades, owning a Birkin meant patience, persistence, and spending thousands just to earn a chance at buying one. But recently, a shopper in Dubai walked into a boutique and bought a Birkin on her first visit. No waiting, no begging, no years of loyalty purchases. She paid, picked up her bag, and walked out. For insiders, it felt like blasphemy. Rumors now suggest Hermes has quietly increased Birkin production by 20%. More bags may sound like growth, but for a brand built on scarcity, it looks like desperation. If the chase disappears, so does the magic. Meanwhile, Gucci is slashing prices in half. Shoes that once sold for $2,500 are now offered for $1,200. Walk into their Beverly Hills flagship, and it no longer feels exclusive. It feels like a clearance sale. Shoppers digging through racks, sales associates whispering about discounts. The atmosphere is less luxury boutique, and more bargain frenzy. Louis Vuitton is panicking too. Insiders say they are offering Chinese VIPs first-class trips to Paris with 5-star hotels, all tied to private shopping sprees at the flagship store. It's a last-ditch attempt to lure buyers, but when luxury starts looking like a vacation package, the illusion of exclusivity crumbles. At the same time, a new kind of shopper is rising. She's not impressed by gold logos or marble floors. She's on TikTok, buying $200 handbags from independent designers who show every step of the process: cutting, stitching, and hand finishing on camera. She doesn't want a status symbol, she wants a story. Transparency is the new luxury. If brands can't explain why a bag costs $5,000, consumers won't just ignore them, they'll call them out. The age of blind logo worship is over. The new question is simple: in a world where everyone can see behind the curtain, what's your magic?